Mark.
Kristen.
Meredith.
Alan. Michael.
Hey, it's Alexis from Arden Professional Apprentice Class 15, and I'm here to do installment number 2 of our interviews with APA Class 17. So they're 3 months into the apprenticeship. They've been getting their routines down, and so we're going to talk to them today about what they're doing. We're going to try to catch up with them as they are all over the theater, so we don't have any idea where we're going to find them. So I want to ask you about the walkie-talkie and headset that you're wearing. So I assume there's a reason that you're wearing these. These aren't part of your...
There is. I wear them all the time. Thanks, Thomas.
Were you just getting a message?
I was getting a message about when we're going to open house.
Oh, okay, great. Open house being the official term.
When we let in the audience.
So we're on our way to the stage, the set of Rabbit Hole, and we're following Mike, who's the ASM. How much time do you spend back here?
I spend the entire show back here.
The entire show? How long is that?
It's a little under 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
All these ropes and stuff control the furniture that moves on and off.
Now, you actually do...
Pull them?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Do you have any funny or horror stories from say, this
Thank
room?
God, not during the actual show, I don't think. But during the rehearsal process, like forgetting to set stuff during intermission, like knives or stuff in the cabinets. The couch was a pain.
That heavy
during
couch,
tech,
is
yeah.
that one of the pieces you fly in?
Yep, it moves, the couch right there, and it moves on the wire I just showed you, and it's really heavy, and one of the wheels used to get stuck, so it would be like pulling the entire couch across the stage. It was terrible. Hello. Welcome to the Arden Theater Company. My name is Mike. I'm an Arden Professional Apprentice, and I'd just like to make a few brief announcements before we begin.
I'm going through for the artistic department to try to find understudies for Romeo and Juliet. We're specifically looking for male understudies. Are you out there? I don't know. Maybe you are. Maybe you're in this folder. But so that's what I'm doing. Just looking to see if they have Shakespeare experience or stage combat, or if they've worked at the Arden before.
Oh, cool. So this is a look into kind of how the Arden might do some of its casting. You just literally go through your files.
A lot of them. A lot of files. We're on G.
I am cranking the rumor mill. And I heard on this rumor mill that all the bakables, the edible bakables in a production known as Rabbit Hole, running through December 20th, that you are the one behind all the baking.
I am. Not the only one. There's lots of people involved. But every Monday I bake for 5 hours. So I bake
5 hours?
5 hours. 5 hours. And I can't eat any of it. It's very cruel. But I bake 4 cakes and a loaf of zucchini bread and a batch of creme caramels.
Started this morning by doing a show of Peter Pan, which I am assistant stage managing.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And so what does the assistant stage manager do? What is that?
A lot. We do a lot, especially with Peter Pan. I keep track of all the props for the show. I make sure they're all set at the beginning, that all the actors are there on time, that we're all ready to go for showtime. And it's really a blast doing kids theater. You know, I get to sit in the basement and hand things at the trap. Tinkerbell, the puppet, I hand up through the trap door, and as I'm down there I get to hear all the kids laughing and screaming as things are happening up above me, so it's
That's
a lot of fun,
awesome.
yeah.
So what is this and why do you have it?
These are light plot and a speaker plot for Blue Door, which is the show that's coming up next in the Arcadia space.
Okay.
So the designers, both the sound designer and the light designer, they put together a large blueprint of where all the different lighting instruments and where all the different speakers are going to be, and then they send that to us. It's a huge file, and we want to be able to have a physical copy to look at it while we're hanging the lights, hanging the speakers.
So you have your changes of clothes, you have little stow spaces of food. I was saying I needed like water bottle stations as I'm running all around the place just to like grab and shower myself from.
I've been working on a glossary and some background dramaturgical information for Romeo and Juliet. I also just started making a glossary for Blue Door as well. So I am all glossaried up. If you need to know the definition of a word, come to me.
And then I have a half-hour break, and then I jump into understudy rehearsal for Peter Pan.
Are you understudying?
Yeah, I'm understudying.
Oh, cool. So is this what you're doing all day?
No. This morning I cleaned the Arcadia, so I scraped the gum off the seats and I dust busted everything with Kristen, who's a fellow APA.
This job's very glamorous.
It is very glamorous. That's why I get to wear the Madonna mic all the time.
I have like sweatpants on, not a lot of gum today, that's always a good day. And then later I go to my assistantship. I have an assistantship in education.
So you mentioned you're in a production assistantship?
Yeah.
So what does that entail? What's a typical day like for you?
Well, it's different every time. It's not typical. It's generally more...
Kind of a theme here.
Yeah. It's generally like more time so you go in depth with a particular department than you would for if you're just, sign up for 4 hours at a time. So I get some projects that are a little bit more demanding that I get a little more of an investment in.
My prediction was that I would get everyone to say y'all in this program because I'm from Texas. And while I don't believe I've gotten everyone to say y'all, I have gotten a few people to say y'all. Though not in the capacity that I perhaps predicted, it's usually them mocking me.
My prediction was that they would know my name at Old City Coffee, and I've kind of abandoned Old City Coffee.
I predicted falling asleep on one of the couches or the cots.
Right.
I actually, Alec doesn't know this, but I actually fell asleep a few times during tech right back there.
We need a new prediction for next time. And maybe Phoebe here, one of the office dogs, can help you out.
Because I was the first one to do ASM stuff, I'm still kind of behind on what other people are doing. So I predict that I will be behind for another month or so. Like stupid things like not knowing how to use the copy machine.
I think I'll be somewhere near becoming an ASM or being an ASM or somewhere in that world.
I think the apprentices will give up on the dream of saving all of our co-check money for our showcase and just go out to dinner.